In this episode, I share a couple favorite must-have flexibility exercises from my book. I also share my birthday wish. So here we go, episode 223, 2 exercises and 1 birthday wish. Hi, I'm Karen Rohlf, and welcome to Horse Training in Harmony. This podcast is about you making progress with your horse in a way that you both can love. It's about learning how to move and be in harmony. Because yes, you really can develop a horse to be both athletic and happy. When we show up as our best selves for our horses will show up for us. So let's get started. Happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me, happy birthday, dear Karen. Happy birthday to me, yay! Yes, folks, it's my birthday. Today, if you're listening to this on the day the podcast was released, so April 11, and this year it marks the 60th year I have been on this planet. So I thought that was worth celebrating. It's an honor and maybe an achievement. Not that I necessarily had much to do with it. I mean, I think getting this far results from a combination of a few billion years of cosmic dust blowing in the wind, dumb luck, and yes, some conscious choices that I've made over the past 60 years. Overall, I don't think I can take much credit, but that doesn't mean that I am not super happy to be here. I am appreciative and grateful, and I'm kind of curious about the next iterations of my life. And I say kind of curious because, I don't know, looking in the mirror can still be quite shocking. And every now and then my brain still whispers mean things to me. Silly human brain. But I really am committed to remaining fascinated by the whole process. And I wonder what it's going to be like being an even older version of me. So to celebrate this epic landmark birthday, which at the same time is just another day, I was thinking of choosing, a charitable organization or a cause or something that's meaningful to me and inviting people to donate to it. But then, I don't know, on further reflection, the more I thought about it, I realized that that's not really what I want. What I want is different than that. So instead of inviting you to do something that speaks to my heart, what I really want is to invite you to do something that speaks to your heart. I mean, that's really what I dream of. A world of people living in and playing from their hearts. Imagine all the people living life as one, right? This would be the most amazing gift. So, I don't know, I invite you to do something from your heart. And I have no idea what that might look like. It may be something kind you say to someone where you normally wouldn't. Or you do something helpful or loving for somebody that maybe you've thought of doing many times, but for some reason you haven't. You thought, I don't know them well enough, or I'll do it tomorrow, or I don't know if they'd really like that help, or I don't know. We humans come up with a million reasons why not to do stuff. And maybe that person that you say something kind to, or that you do something helpful or loving or giving to, like that person might be yourself. Right? I know that there's many of you out there who are helping everybody else before you help yourself. So what kind or delightful or joyful or heartfelt thing can you do for yourself that you've been putting off? And maybe in saying this, some of you already know exactly what that thing is. And for some reason, you've been putting it off, and now you're like, all right, I'll do it. I'll use Karen's podcast today I'm going to do it. And maybe some of you are like, oh gosh, I have no idea what to do. And, it's now going to be in your brain. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. I don't know. Don't stress over it. Maybe just, stay open and trust that you'll know it when it comes along. And maybe that can be a game of like, I wonder what it's going to be. You don't already have to have it. It doesn't have to be something you plan or put on your calendar. But here's the thing, like, maybe you're like me. Like, have you ever you're going along in your day, and then you have this idea for an inspired action, right? You're just like, oh, you think of doing something, or you think of saying something, or you see something, and you're like, I'm just going to go tell them how inspiring that was, or whatever it is. Like, you have this idea for an inspired action, and then you hesitate, right? And you think, and then your brain gives you reasons why, well, maybe now is not the best time to do it, right? And they're good reasons. I made air quotes around that word good. So for my birthday, perhaps when you feel that tiny whisper, that tiny spark of an inspired action, that little warm fuzzy, for my birthday, perhaps just don't hesitate. What would happen if you just did it faster than your brain can give you a perfectly good reason why not to? I think at this time, so many of us are kind of wondering what the heck we can do to make the world a better place. And I think this is what we can all do. We can all open our hearts and change the energy of the world, and not underestimate the power of that, right? And again, now there's a possibility some of you are out there already overthinking this and seeing it as some sort of pressure. So no, don't do that. I don't want you to be like, oh my gosh, what should I do? I don't know. I need to make a spreadsheet and write down all the possibilities. Like, really, no. It's just an invitation of something perhaps you can entertain. And if you just put that possibility out there in your brain and then just listen and wait for the moment. So don't overthink it. And if for those of you who might feel a little bit stuck, or maybe for whatever reason of life, you're listening to this and you're kind of in a mode that's like not open to that. Like, I know what that's like. I have my grumpy days, right? You're like, nope, I have no idea what my heart wants, and it just needs to shut up because I got stuff to do, right? So I get it. Some of you might be listening and you're kind of in that mode. So I'm going to help facilitate and give you an idea. So here's something that you can do if you don't have any ideas and you really don't feel like thinking of ideas or waiting for something to, inspire you. I'll make it really easy to get started. And maybe this will just be the only thing you do, or maybe it'll help get you in a state where then you feel like playing this game. So the step one, here's the best the one idea of a best gift that you can give me is to just like do a happy dance. And I know that sounds maybe, I don't know, I was going to say dumb, but let's not judge it. It's just my suggestion. Do a happy dance. No, you don't have to. It's just an invitation. And if you're listening to this podcast on the day that it comes out on April 11th, you can probably go to my Facebook page, my Dressage Naturally page, because I'm going to post a video of me doing a happy dance, and it's sitting over there, and I'm going to invite others to leave in the comments a video of themselves doing a happy dance. So if you like, you can just do a happy dance and in the privacy of your own home, and no one will see it, but I promise the world will feel it. The world will feel it, and you'll feel it, which is the most important thing. And if you want to put it on a video and then go over to the Facebook page and leave it in the comments, that would be so super fun. or just go look at everybody else's happy dances. That's fine too. Anyway, I know it sounds a little silly, maybe it doesn't, but this would make me so happy. This would be the best gift in the world, is if we all together change the energy to a happier energy, change the vibration of the earth. Whether you can just watch me do a happy dance, look at other people doing a happy dance, you do a happy dance, or just simply do something kind from your heart that will make you feel good in whatever way that means to you. That will be the gift. And again, from that place of joy, we're going to make different decisions. We're going to have different interactions with people and animals. And we're going to be changing the energy of the world. And imagine everybody living from their heart. Imagine everybody taking that action from their heart, the inspired action, sharing the warm fuzzies, feeling their hearts more. And then when your heart's open, you'll get even more ideas of what you can do from your heart. So that's all I want, just, to change the world. Will you join me? So thank you in advance for this amazing gift. Okay. That was the birthday message. And then, so I thought I wanted to share a couple exercises. So in thinking about this podcast, I thought, all right, well, what else can I talk about on the podcast? And I was thinking about my birthday and April 11, which is 4/11. And then I thought, I'll just go to a book and open it to page 411 and see what's there. But I don't have a lot of books that are 400 pages long or over. So I just flipped it. And I was like, okay, well, instead of 411, let's see what's on page 114. So I opened the Dressage Naturally book, which is the best book in the world for this sort of stuff. I went to page 114, and there's a couple really cool exercises here for you. So it's in part 2 of my book, which is the exercises, and it's in the section of gymnastic, the upward spiral gymnastic development. And then it's in the flexibility section of that part. And so flexibility exercises are things that involve stretching and coming back, or bending and changing, bending one way, bending the other way, and then changing bends. So flexibility exercises are about being flexible, but flexibility exercises, like the reason for them, what you want to gain from them, is the ability to easily change from one bend to the other, or from stretched to more compact and then back to stretched again. So that's what creates suppleness, is the free ability to go from one to the other. Okay, so these are exercises 31 and 32, which are both on this page. 32 slips a little bit over to page 115, but I'll share that too. And I'll leave the link to the book in the show notes, but basically go to dressagenaturally.net. From there, you can get the shop, or just click the link on my homepage to the book. It's easy to find. And it also includes 3 hours of video that come with it, streaming video. So that's pretty cool. And the book has 3 sections. One kind of gives like the background and the theory behind everything. Part 2 is exercises, a pretty good range of exercises that I thought were important ones to have. And then the third part is essays for success. Okay, get to it, Karen. All right. Exercise 31 is going from stretched to working posture and back again. So on a circle, alternate from a stretched to a working posture while maintaining the bend, the rhythm, and the direction. And this is an exercise I use to warm up, to release tension during a ride, to check the self-balancing of the horse, to release from collection while remaining in motion, to build confidence, and to cool down. And if the horse loses his tendency or desire to stretch, you can return to the relaxation, energy, and balance exercises to diagnose why. Okay, so so for working gaits, there's, now I'm free-forming. the working gaits, there's 3 criteria: that the pole is the highest point, that they're carrying themselves, and that they feel stretchable. There's that stretchability, that desire to move through their backs and reach their neck long into however long the reins are. That's what creates the quote-unquote roundness and throughness. And so how do you know your horse is stretchable in the working gaits? Well, you stretch them and see what happens. You allow that length, and you do that by softening your back and then confirming by lengthening your reins and following them down. But with this exercise, it's very particular. It's like to alternate from stretch to working posture while maintaining the bend, the rhythm, and the direction. So this is a very precise exercise. Earlier in the exercises in the book, we kind of play around and we smoosh here and there and try to wiggle and do the basic alignment exercise and play around with different ingredients to find the stretch. And now I'm saying you're on a circle. It's a specific size circle. It is a circle, which means it starts and ends in the exact same place. And you're trying to maintain the direction, means you're staying on the circle. And you're maintaining the bend, and you're maintaining the rhythm. So as you're going from stretch to working, you're paying attention to those things. Like maybe you've got a good working trot, but when you stretch, maybe they speed up or the rhythm changes a little bit. Maybe when you stretch, the circle gets bigger or smaller. Do they fall in or drift out? And maybe when you go from stretching back to the working posture, then the rhythm changes a little bit, or they lose the bend or something like that. So being able to isolate just your communication about stretch, back to working, back to stretched, is the whole key, right? And so going, like riding around, stretching and doing working gaits and stretching and doing working gaits, that's already valuable even if you're not being precise. But for this, if you really want to end up with suppleness, you want to do this exercise in a very precise way, and you're trying to really isolate what part of your body is communicating just that posture, and can you communicate the change in that posture without you accidentally communicating a change in anything else, not the line of direction, not the tempo, not the rhythm, right? So it's a coordination thing and a test of your aids in communication, but it's also a physical challenge for the horse, because maybe they do understand, maybe you are asking correctly, but for some reason they lose their balance here and there, or, something. So it's definitely a team effort to build this kind of coordination. All right, so that is exercise 31. That I, favorite, go-to, must-have, can't live without exercise that I do often. All right. Exercise 32. This is a change of bend independent of direction. All right. So there's a couple variations that I list here in this exercise. So variation 1 can be done at the walk and the trot as written. You can vary it a little bit and then be able to add the canter, but to keep it simple, this one can be done at the walk and trot. So step 1, you establish a large, meaning 20 to 30 meter circle, and the appropriate bend in your horse. Bend equals alignment on the circle. So if you're on a circle and your horse is aligned, they shall be bending. So you just want to make sure that you have that first in order to do this exercise. Step 2 is change to a counter bend. So if you're on a circle to the right, then you're going to bend to the left, and vice versa. When it feels good, then change direction outside the circle towards the bend you just established. So now so let's picture this in our heads. We're on a circle to the right with a bend to the right. Then you want to play to be on that circle to the right, but now counterbending. You're bending to the left on the circle right. And when it feels good, and it might take a little bit, you might have to change back and forth a couple times until you really find that beautiful counterbend. When you're thinking, ooh, that feels good, you're in the sweet spot of your counterbend, then change direction outside the circle. So you're basically going to be now turning towards where the horse is bending. So I'm on the circle right, I have a bend to the left, I'm thinking, oh, this feels good. Now I'm going to look up with my eyes off to the direction that the horse is bent and hopefully immediately step onto a lovely circle to the left. And I don't have to do anything else with the bend because the bend is already there. So I'm only changing the direction. So at first I'm changing the bend without changing direction. And then when I've got my horse in that beautiful counter bend, I'm changing my direction without changing my bend because the bend's already there. So step 4 is repeat. So now I'm on the circle left with a lovely bend to the left. I play around to establish a counter bend. So now a bend to the right while I'm on the circle left, and implied is the circle doesn't change, the tempo doesn't change, nothing else changes. I'm only changing to a counter bend. And after I get to a one that feels nice, a sweet spot of that counter bend, then I look up and I change only my direction because that's the only thing left to change. The bend is already changed. I lift my eyes and turn onto a equal size circle to now the right. So I'm going back on a circle right with a bend right. And this is it's a really great coordination exercise. It really helps you determine what are the aids for the bend separate from the direction. So there's part of your body that's telling your horse where to go, and there's part of your body that's telling the shape, the positioning. And if you can change one without the other, and then the other without the first one, and back and forth, this is one of these methodical exercises that if you've got enough of the ingredients and you take the time to do it methodically, consistently, and practice the coordination, your coordination in your own body, the horse's coordination in his body or her body, and then, of course, the coordination between you and your horse, so you can really go from best step to best step to best step. So you can do this. You can do this one at the walk and the trot, and the goal is to be able to change only your conversation about bend without it becoming a lateral exercise. In other words, if you feel like you're going sideways, then you're not there yet. Keep your focus strong on the line of direction. So counter bend is difficult because it's subtle. And most of the time when I coach people doing counter bend exercises, where they go wrong is they overdo it, and now they're twisting and it's turning into a lateral move of some sort. Now, in the book video, there's videos about this, and there's a few videos in the video classroom. If you search for bend, you'll come up with bend and counter bend exercises. Totally worth looking at so you can get the visual. There's some really good ones in there. And obviously you can do it. It's hard to do it the canter because now you're turning to the other lead. Of course, when you're advanced, you can throw a flying change in there or turn it into some counter canter thing. But then it just gets complicated. So just do that one at the walk and trot. If you can master it at the walk and trot, those of you who could do it the canter will know who you are. But really, you want to master this at the walk and trot. This is a prerequisite for doing counter canter of any kind. Okay. Variation 2 can be done at the walk and the trot and the canter. So variation 2 is establish a large circle and bend in your horse. So you're on a circle right, your horse is bent to the right, change to counter bend, and then return to the true bend. So simple. You're just doing bend and then counter bend and back to bend again without adding that circle off to the other side. So in a way, it's part of variation 1. It's the easier one, just go back and forth. And that you can do at the canter. It's a little interesting to do at the canter, but actually this exercise, if you have throughness issues at the canter and you kind of feel like never quite is as through as you'd like them to be, this is my go-to first thing that I'll try is just do bend, counter bend at the canter. And there's a really interesting thing that can happen through the withers and aligning them and how they're turning and how they're operating through their shoulders. That happens if you can figure out how to counterbend your horse without it turning into a lateral exercise. That's the tricky part. So remember, when doing bend and counterbend, when doing counterbend, it's more subtle. You have to be very good at doing just what you need and not over bending the neck, not twisting, not over exaggerating anything. You just have to know click and click from one positioning to the other. That's it. Don't overcomplicate it, but be precise with the turning because that will give you clues. Okay. Oh, there's more. Okay. So the last, I just turned to page 115. The last things I say about this is, you want to make sure that bend is independent of forehand or haunches displacement. If you can isolate this conversation, it will help you in your mobility exercises. For example, if you're in a shoulder in where the angle is fine, but you want to increase the bend, you want to make sure you can do that without changing the angle of the shoulder in. So although this is a flexibility exercise, it will improve your balance and prepare you for counter-canter. Hopefully now you have an idea of the type of exercises that will increase flexibility. There are many, many exercises for this, and you can feel free to experiment with the flexibility patterns from other sources. All right, so again, that making sure you can change bend without changing that it becomes anything lateral is the key. And it's so easy when you change the bend to start twisting and sending them sideways. But yeah, you want to be able to change one without changing the other. Otherwise, every time you go to do something with bend, they're going to go sideways. And when you're in the middle of lateral work, you don't want to do that. You want to be able to isolate and say, I just need more bend, but not more angle. Anyway, all right. Those are my 2 birthday exercises for you guys to do. They're super good ones. Ta-da! And and I wish you the best. And play with those joyful, heartfelt things. Change the energy of the world. That's the best birthday present you could give me. All right. See you next time.